Hey guys, and welcome to another season of the Us People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and in this season, we uncover the remarkable power of genuine compassion and insightful vision. This season, we're here to show the world that we, as individuals, are the brand, regardless of misconceptions. Join us as we go deep into the inspiring journeys of our guests, each one a testament to the impact and influence of kindness and creativity. Don't just take my word for it. Hear their stories, feel their passion, and discover the transformative potential within us all. So stay tuned as we shine a light on the truths that connects us and inspires change.
Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Wendy Parr, and I am a holistic vocal and artist development coach. And you are listening to Us People podcast with Savia Rocks. Here we go.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Us People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and today I am abundantly humbled to have the lovely Wendy Parr with me. She's a holistic vocal and artist development coach and the founder of the Parr Method. Wendy, I want to thank you so much for taking your time to come on the Us People podcast. How are you?
I'm so good. I really appreciate you inviting me. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. So Wendy, my first question for you is, could you tell us a bit about yourself, where you grew up, and how that influenced you to be the person who you are today?
That's a nice question. So I am a holistic artist development coach and vocal coach. I've been working in the entertainment industry since I was 8 years old as a performer, musical theater, TV, voiceovers. I knew that I wanted to be a singer very, very young. I knew that I was here to use my voice. That's really that was the message I got. Oh, I'm here to use my voice.
Yeah.
And looking at my early influences, like Barbara Streisand, I just kind of pointed at an album and I went, I want to do what she's doing. And like at age 3, I knew that. Like, I want to do that. I grew up in Northern California, in Sacramento. We moved to Los Angeles when I was 8. And I went to New York as often as possible saying, get me out of LA.
Usually it's the other way round, right?
What's that?
Usually it's the other way round.
Get me to LA?
Yeah, usually people will say get me to LA. Rather, you're saying it the other way around. You're saying get me out of LA, which is pretty cool.
Get me to New York. There was a couple of specific reasons. One, very young. So I'm very fortunate that I was able to go to New York, more than a handful of times when I was a kid. And it was specifically Broadway. It was how old would I have been? 1978, 1980, 82, early 80s, late 70s. And when New York was like dangerous and phenomenal and so expressive, and it was musical theater, which I loved when I was a kid, and was performing when I was a kid. And LA still is. I mean, LA I think has changed a lot for the better. I lived in New York for 14 plus years. I went to college there, left NYU for acting early. Went back to LA and I was like, I am working. Why am I sitting in a classroom more? I just want to go back to work. Mm-hmm. And then I moved back to New York as an adult and was there for about 12 plus years, coaching and living and loving it. Personality, like I have an easygoing LA laid back vibe, but I'm a New Yorker at heart. I'm genuine, straight shooter. What I love about New York is when I land at the airport, when you're walking through, New York City, everybody is showing up their weird, wonderful self.
Yes.
And I'm just like, thank you for being you. And thank you, you're fabulous. Thank you for being you. And growing up in LA, a queer kid who didn't know I was queer yet, a theater kid, a songwriter, an eclectic person, an outlier, as I really am an outlier in every sense. I definitely just did not fit in LA. Like, it was not my place. I was like, oh, I don't fit here. Like, my people, I don't find my people here. Now I do. I have good friends there, of course, but culturally, New York was much more my vibe.
Yeah.
It was also the most international city in the world, and I love culture. I love people from different cultures. I love food from different cultures. I mean, growing up in Sacramento, which at that time was like, as white could be, my friends were, I had a friend of every race. And that's like, I'm a person who loves people. And, so in the whitest of white towns, my best friend was Chinese and Italian and Black and blonde haired, blue eyed kid. Like, everybody, because I love bringing just good people together. And I really do love, like, I mean, I used to call myself a global, I'm a global citizen. I'm not that, I don't know what the word would be now, but like I don't need to call myself that anymore. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm Wendy. I live in France now. I live in Paris. I live in, like, I don't know, like, I giggle at that young kid that was like, where are you from? I'm a person of the world. I was like, because I really just didn't like to say I was from Sacramento. Oh, it's so silly. But that's, that's your teenage or your young self. But truly, even, the last number of years I was living in LA, it's really common for people to say to me, I have a hard time meeting genuine people in LA.
That's true.
And
I get
yeah,
you. Yeah.
and it is. And I would say to them, come to any event I have, let me connect you with people, because those are the only people I know, right? Like, I love genuine, real people, and you're not the only person who says this. So we have to find our community. We have to build our own communities. And so that was a thing. I'm tattooed, and and that wasn't very. I mean, now it's common for people to be tattooed, but it wasn't when I was growing up. Like I said, I just didn't feel this was my place. So, and all of that is who I am as a coach, right? My whole job as a coach is to help people see themselves, be confident, and confident being vulnerable and being authentic, and helping them be true to themselves so that they can share their true voice.
Yes.
Vocally, and then in their brand and their artistry. How do I help you build a world that says, this is me, this is me, this is me. Let me invite you into my world and take you on an emotional journey.
Yes.
So how I grew up feeling like, I felt like an outsider a lot, or I just didn't know who I was yet. Like, I didn't know I was queer yet. So there was just always this sense of like, something's off, until I realized I was queer, and I went, oh, the world makes sense now. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
I didn't see myself in the world. There's a film a few years back, just a few years ago, really a handful of years. When did it come out? Called Gentleman Jack. And the lead character in that is the first time I saw myself on screen. And oh my God. And I had friends calling me saying, have you seen this? I'm watching you. Like, this is you. And I was like, I feel that too.
You're getting emotional, yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. Lisa Bonet, as a kid, I remember seeing Lisa Bonet and her character. I went, oh my gosh, that feels like the first person kind of like me, like eclectic and funky and dresses funky and, is not like everyone else in her family. That I resonated with as a kid. And definitely as a coach, then my growing up and how I was affected as an artist, I started performing young, started writing songs, did my first demo, which at 14, 15 was an album. Like, it was a live string section, because there was no such thing as a computer with a string pad, right? It was me recording after midnight, because the studios were cheaper and I was paying for it.
That's true.
So
yeah, I gave you there.
Yeah. It was a live background singer. So Motown had my demo when I was 15, which again, it was like, these were record ready. Later, Warner Brothers had it. Motown heard it and said, what do we do with a 15-year-old white girl who sings like this? because there were no 15-year-olds in the public eye when I was 15, right?
Yeah,
The last kid was Michael Jackson.
that's true.
And then
Yeah.
a few years after that, Tiffany and Debbie Gibson came out, and that was the
Yes.
beginning of that, right?
Yeah.
But also, I was singing R&B, which I love. I love gospel. I love R&B. But I was singing that because my mentor encouraged me to sing that.
Yeah.
I'm very soulful, but I'm not an R&B singer,
Fair enough. I get it. I
right?
totally get it.
I also was mentored to be. I traveled doing master classes with my vocal coach, being his example of here's a perfect mix. Here's what you should be singing like. And so combine that with my personality, being 15 and what I was getting coached with, I became a perfectionist who had to sing a certain way all the time. And I was told there's a right way to sing. That absolutely ended up being harmful for me, right? Like my soul was going further and further withdrawn, and my good voice was out here in front. And you were getting a good voice, but my heart and soul was like disconnected from that. And I got to a place where I don't like music. I don't like singing. I don't like the sound of my voice. What happened? So I had to unravel that. I had to like, where did I go wrong? Where did I turn off course? Right.
Yeah.
And this happens. This still happens for artists. This journey of mine influenced me being a holistic coach and helping other artists. Can I help you avoid being off course? Can I help you being misaligned? Can I help you skip the 2 years of my frustration and pain so that you can be in your joy? Can I give you tools so that you can catch when you're being pushed off course to your own integrity, your own vision, and give you the tools to recognize, I have the tools to get back to myself.
Yes.
So the first session I have with every artist is called Blueprint. It's an 1.5-hour session, and we do some singing where my job is to show the artist these are the adjustments that we can make, and this is where your voice can go. Like I should wow them in the first session. I should show any vocal coach should be able to show you in the first session adjustments that immediately make things easier, more consistent, better. Oh, that's what my voice can do. That's what we're going to learn. Wow, I can see this. That should happen in the first session. The rest of my session of Blueprint is a conversation with the artist.
Okay, I like this.
To really talk about what do you love about music? Let's talk about why you make music. Let's talk about what the role of the artist is. And let's talk about what's getting in the way of that.
Yeah.
What's causing you worry? What's causing you stress? What's derailing you? So that we can really break some of the myths and look at some of those fears that aren't serving you. We're going to leave those behind. We're not going to take them forward as we train. We're not going to take them forward as we gain excellence in your skills. It's not to be an excellent singer. It's to be an excellent, authentic artist.
One of the things I wanted to ask you, Wendy, is a lot of artists come into singing or being an artist with a lot of trauma, which I'm not going to deny this, which for some of them helps them actually to become a great artist, where they utilize that trauma and they write these fantastic, great songs, which propel them to be these longevity artists. How do you help these artists, first of all, use their trauma as a positivity stamp in the world, rather than, for example, and I know this for sure because I'm sure it's happened to all of us at some point, there are people in our lives who will manipulate us and use our trauma against us for guilt, which we all know. But how do you feel, from your opinion of doing this for so long, do you feel that you help people use their trauma in a significant way to help propel them to goodness?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I think about emotions. There are 3 things we can do with emotions. We can try to stop them, hold them, ignore them.
Yeah.
Like, right? I'm going to suppress these. I'm going to ignore them. In which case, that room just gets bigger and loaded and loaded and loaded, and it's banging harder at the door at you, going, "Let me out, let me out." And you're also now cut off from them because all your energy is being spent trying to hide them. ignore them, right? Stop them. You can wallow in your emotion, in which case your sadness can last for, and your grief, not grief. I mean, grief is, I'm not going to blame anyone for being in grief. Grief is its own thing, right? It comes in waves. But let's say your anger, your resentment, like we can hold a grudge for centuries, people, right? Humans can hold grudges, family grudges, right? Feuds, family feuds. We know that phrase, right? But it actually only takes 90 seconds for an emotion to pass through you. Watch a toddler. Watch a toddler like, oh my God, my bread is broken. The bread is broken. It's not and then very quickly it can just be like, oh, my doo-doo, my like shiny thing. Just, right? They move through their emotions so fully and they're on to the next thing.
That's
and then on to the next thing. It's right. It's amazing. It's amazing. But that's how long actually our emotions last. But we're human and we hold on to things. So you can swim in your emotions, wallow in them, kind of be drowned in them. In which case, again, just like suppressing them, you're actually spending a lot of energy just holding them in place, keeping them. So we're stuck in both cases. The other option is to let them up and out, up and out, up and out, up and out. And one of the most powerful healing ways to let your emotions up and out is through music.
Yeah.
Sing it. For a million scientific reasons, you're going to feel better, right? Mm. So write it, story tell it, and then singing it with melody. You're transforming your trauma, your pain into something beautiful. You are not required to relive your pain every time you sing. Yeah. Your relationship to that experience can become, as you heal, especially, like it'll change. Like you're not required to relive the reason why you wrote that song when you sing it. You can sing it right now on Thursday at 9:30 at night. How do I feel right now? Oh, I love this conversation. Or you're doing a show and you're like, I'm so grateful I get to live my life as a musician and there's people in this audience. You could sing that song with the joy that you experience and the gratitude that you have for just being able to be a musician.
Yes.
And then the emotions of the song will move through you, but you won't be pained by it anymore, right? So, and I don't think anyone ever should. Like, you cannot be in that place of inspiration again. It's over. That really is in the past. What you can't do is be in the moment and let the song affect you now and tomorrow's now. And then who you are in this moment plus that song makes it a fresh performance every night and makes it real every night. So I think that creating art that transforms your pain is beautiful, and other humans get to connect with it, get to be, resonate with it, feel seen by it, connect to you. And that is also powerful. Like the artist knowing that, oh my gosh, I've had a positive impact in your life is like the meaning of life to me. So the artist gets to be very fulfilled through that experience. Yeah. And then I also recommend, there's a few people I definitely recommend for actual healing as well. Like, heal yourself. Like, we are meant as humans to be on a soul's journey of evolution and growth. Yeah. So I'm not qualified for all of that. There's some things I can do as a coach, and then I have some people I recommend that this is a great person to help you like go deep into that source and rewire it and shift your relationship to your history and to yourself, create new, patterns inside. Somatic healing is amazing. So I mean, I had an artist once say to me, when they record, they have somebody literally punch them so they can get really riled up and angry so they can record. And they're like, I basically only have two speeds, full on aggressive or like, nothing. And I was like, well, I'd love to help you find some solutions to help you find a balanced energy in between that you don't have to be enraged to be, right? And that's just trauma that isn't healed, right? I'm either shut down or I'm enraged. Well, let's find some. That's a
trauma. That's a trauma. Sorry, Wendy. That's a trauma that's kind of locked behind a closed door or a cemented door. That's what I call it. I call it a cemented door. And doors can be opened. Yeah, it can be opened, and sometimes it just takes that right person to unlock that door and say, you know what, it's okay. But a lot of people also do, which is a conversation I've had multiple times is it's called the black box. I'm sure you've heard of this before. So the black box is where people keep filling up their emotions inside that box, and then one day they just close it and never want to open it again. But this, the scientific thing, because I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to these things, is your brain your brain has a tendency to hide, or how can I say, shield you from things that have happened in your life.
Yes.
And I've been, when I was doing research on this, and I was like, okay, let me see if this is true. And it blocks out things. So the reason why sometimes we can't remember things ourselves is because our brain knows that that particular thing will create so much trauma in us. If we open it, it may just destroy us. So our brain goes, nope, and it shuts it out.
Yeah.
But you know there's something that you can't remember, but for some reason your brain is not allowing you to magnify it and let it come out. So that's another thing as well, and I think that's on the subject of exactly what you just said.
Well, so I work with a gentleman named Wayne. He's a tremendous healer. And I've described it to him. I've said, there's something here I can't see. If I did, I'd address it.
Yeah.
I know I'm having this experience in the way I behave or in the way I react to the world. I'd like to find out why, so I don't like this. This doesn't feel good,
Exactly,
right? So then
that.
we're breaking those patterns. And I'm someone who comes with a big shovel and I'm like, let's excavate. Because I don't want to keep living like this, right? Yeah. And so I have had amazing transformation with him. But definitely as a teenager and for me, talk therapy was either very harmful, very detrimental, harmful, or just cognitively interesting.
I like that concept.
But it didn't help me transform. It didn't change me at a cellular level, at a deep, soulful, spiritual, emotional level. Some of it was like, oh, that's really interesting. That makes a lot of things make sense, right? It's kind of heady. But somatic work, being in my body, and the healing work I've done with Wayne, some of which is somatic, really changed me. And like oldest patterns, like I'm so, so, so grateful. But you're right, as a teenager doing talk therapy, I used to disassociate, I'll say fall asleep, like when we'd get to somewhere and our body would absolutely shut down. We're not talking about that. We're not going there.
Yep, I know those ones.
And I mean, that happened on the regular. And I don't recall it being addressed by the therapist. Maybe, and again, I say I disassociated, like I disappeared. I don't know what happened. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I actually fell asleep, but when I was working with the somatic healer, I told her that. I said, now I was older, right?
Yes,
and I was also, I think, ready to do this work, right?
Yes.
Because I've absolutely had breakthroughs with her, and that's because I wanted them and I was ready and I was in a safe place in my life that I could, right? They say that there are a number of traumas that and life experiences that you don't start dealing with till you're 40 or older because you just aren't ready to.
I understand it, and I think the reason why, as we get older, and maybe you agree with this, but as you get older, you start to care less about how people think of you or feel towards you. Some people. There's a lot of older women who I have spoken to, and men too, to be fair, I can't just say one, who have said to me, Savia, as I've gotten older, so when I was in my 20s and my teens, I cared a lot about how people saw my image, who I was, why I was that way, and if they said anything to me, it would automatically affect me and I would hold that for a long period of time. As I got into my 30s, I started to relax more and I didn't mind making these mistakes that I did, and I started to laugh at the mistakes that I made.
Yeah,
when I got into
a very natural course right there. Yeah.
Right there. And then as I got into my 40s.
Absolutely, that timeline. 30s, you're like a lot of people look back and go, what in the world was I worried about that stuff
Exactly
for?
Exactly that. So now, we're in our 40s and 50s. I think we have a whole different look on life where we're like, well, it's not bothering me anymore, and I'm not really too bothered. about it, and now we're going on, you're like, oh, okay, well, it is what it is, and you move on.
I think that's one big aspect. I think another can be your feeling of safety and security in the world.
That too,
as
I
you're
agree with you.
older, and you gain more independence. If you're not with or surrounded by the people that you felt unsafe with now because you've
Yes.
moved state, you've moved country, you've moved somewhere that you have a lot more security and safety.
Yes.
Those also give you like a foundational place now to then be able to do the work.
Yes, I agree with you.
Right. I know for me, I've been with my wife now 5 years, and our partnership changed at like a whole level of like I have with her a feeling of home that I've never had before. I mean, that's life changing.
Yeah.
Life changing. The emotional risks I feel I can take, the physical risks I feel I can take,
I agree with you.
my kids, like we have kids, and I'm like, I just didn't know what having my family would, like, how it would change my life. I'm like, I'm the happiest I've ever been. That fear of something's going to go wrong is no longer there. Like, I've spent most of my life with that feeling.
I know how that feels.
Yeah, it's incredible. I like, there's a worry that I always had that just isn't there anymore. Moving to Paris is a part of that as well. Like, change also is a part of that. But and some of it again is
Excuse me.
the more secure you are in yourself, the more we can then look at the stuff that was causing the foundational cracks, right?
Right.
Right. When you've made a new foundation, you can address the old or the original one. And I think our role as people, and I do think artists do this through art, whether it's conscious or not. I think our job as humans is to become the person we were born and peel away the cultural stuff that was given to us, the trauma, like to peel away the stuff that changed us, or that was thrown on us, or made us small, or made us go off track. I think our job is to actually evolve and be the little kid soul that you walked in with the wisdom of the adult, doing your life's purpose. And I think that artists are in that process all the time, whether they're conscious of it being that journey or not, right? That's what artists are always doing. They are examining themselves and the world and sharing it and going on emotional journeys with you. And so my like everything, my point of view, my philosophy as a person and as a coach, and my life experiences of being queer and being kicked out of my house, being told to be a certain way and not that. We can't be that. You have to be this. Artists go through that process of being told, and I say this without malice. Like, let's say an artist is signed, and the artist is signed because they've created music that's amazing. We love this.
Yeah.
Now we've got a campaign, a year-long campaign around this album, and we've got to do visuals, and we're going to make some music videos and such. And if the artist isn't capable of communicating their vision well, there's deadlines. So then the marketing team jumps in and says, well, we have great ideas for like how we could market you. And some of them are based on, they're based on what the artist brings, but they're also based on the channels they have to move you through.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? The relationships they have and the platforms. So over the course of, say, 2 years, that artist is pushed in a direction away further and further from themselves. They'll make a music video and say, I don't want to put this out. It doesn't feel like me. It's just, but they might be struggling to clarify who they are in their vision, be able to communicate who they are in their vision.
Yeah.
3 to 5% of the artists I work with, and I'm talking about professional working artists, only 3 to 5% are really clear about their aesthetic and their vision. And it takes 7 to 10 years to find your voice as an artist. That's an organic, just natural process, 7 to 10 years. And that's performing all the time. That's making music. That's like, it takes all that time, you know.
That's dedication as well. It's a lot of dedication to be able to do that. Whereas I know now, obviously, and I'm sure you have an opinion on music now and how things are going, especially with AI and so on and so forth. But for me, being a real artist is the real grind of who you are and finding your potential, but also finding your purpose within that, to be able to, like you say, to be who you are. I know that it takes a lifetime for you to be consistently great, Wendy, and I'm sure you know this as well. But at the same time, even those 10 years that you're talking about, some artists don't even last 10 years.
Right, yeah.
So to be able to say that you've been an artist for 10 years and you've been consistent within those 10 years to grind and graft and do what you do and be with someone like you as a coach and who wants to develop them to be their best. Because sometimes, and this is another question for you, I think, it's finding the right person who is a coach who understands who you are, not somebody who's just doing it because of who you are. So for example, and I'm sure you'll be able to explain this a lot better than I can, there are people in the world who are successful as an artist. So say you get an established artist and you get a coach, but the coach may only be training them because they are an established artist. Whereas it's important, and I'm sure I would love to hear your opinion on this, it's important to find a coach. It doesn't matter if you're unestablished as an artist or established, is finding a connection that you have with your coach that will propel you to greatness. Like I said before, how does a person find that in a coach? How do you know when you found that in a coach?
The first thing I would say is you should feel that they are championing you. And I don't just mean like they're not just hyping you up, but like they believe in you and they show you. Like every artist I've worked with has a bad coach story, right? Someone who made them lose their confidence. Someone who I know people who are some successful who have had success as coaches, and their trip is that they make people feel that they need them.
That's the manipulation side. Yeah.
So you should never feel that way from a coach. You shouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, without them I can't do this, or he's fixing me. Like, get out of there. You should feel championed, empowered. You should absolutely feel growth in your voice every session. Like, you can see where you're going. It's like, good signs is it feels easier, feels like me, feels more consistent. I'm getting more of what I want. Like, this is the direction I want my voice to go in, right? I know people who have studied a certain style of music, but they want to make a different kind. And I'm like, well, why did you study? Like, you're building a voice you don't want, right? It should be like, oh yes, this is definitely moving in my pop sound. Or there was a coach that used to tell people, oh, you should do this genre of music. And the person would come back to me and be like, why did they say that? Like, I do EDM. What? Like, that's not me. And I'm like, they're not taking you into consideration. So
exactly.
I had an artist working with me who, this is what he said, actually. He said, I went to a few coaches and you were the only one who came towards me. Like, you were making the plan to work with me that in a way that was like, oh, this is about you and I'm going to help you do you. And he said, you were the only one that did that. Everyone else, another coach, they definitely good at singing, good at coaching, but I heard all their artists and they all sound alike. And I'm like, yes. And they all sounded like the coach.
Yeah.
Right. And he was like, yeah, they all sounded.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So, and when he's told me that, I was very, grateful he shared that with me. And I'm like, that's my intention. I should be serving you to help you do you, vocally, artistically. And so I think that's really important, that you find, try a few coaches. And who do you feel is supportive, supporting you, helping you discover and be yourself, never makes you feel small, challenges you, isn't a yes man. You don't need yes man around. You don't need that. You need honesty.
Yeah, you do. Even if it's blunt and brutal sometimes,
but with kindness, right, and with solution.
Well, that part, yeah.
I had a client in LA. No, not LA. Sorry, New York. He was getting a master's degree, I believe. He's getting a degree in vocals, and his coaches had said, you're not going to get a recital. Like, don't even think about it. And then he started studying with me. And he told me this, one of his teachers patted him on the shoulder and said, I see you finally taken my advice and you're over your emotional troubles. I was like, I'm disgusted by this, of course. But he knew he was studying with me, and he didn't tell anybody in the program that he was studying outside of the program. But his teacher took credit saying, I'm glad you finally listened to my advice and you're over your like emotional struggles and you're singing better. And his fellow students said to him, what are you doing? Because your voice has really changed, like you've changed. And he said, ask me in 6 months when we've graduated. Mm. And he did have 2 or 3 solos in the final recital. And what he needed was actual technique that helped him move through his range and be able to do his material, which then resulted in the confidence because, oh my gosh, I can play my instrument now. It's working.
Yes.
I had someone else from that same program see me and said to me, I can't sing past an E flat. And I said, I just don't see how that's possible because an E flat is basically if we described it this way, this is one way of looking at it. If you looked at it as if we were going to divide your voice into chest and head, that's basically the line. You're saying you can't get past the base of your voice. And I just don't believe that's true. Unless you had like a major vocal injury or something, right? There's no way. I had him singing over an octave higher than that. And while doing it, he said, but I can't sing past the E. I'm like, you're doing it right now. This is you doing it.
It's his mind.
Well, yes, it's his mind, but I'm not blaming him like it's all in your head. He'd been told, and the way he was being taught, he couldn't sing past the E flat because he was so choked up. Yeah. The way the mechanics were working, everything was like this. So he didn't have access to his range. And I'm like, it's just mechanical. And so when I help change the mechanics of what's going on in your larynx, you're now flying through there. And then your beliefs have to catch up to what's happening now because, no, you can't sing past that if you keep singing the way you're singing. But if we change the way you're singing, absolutely, you've got another octave and a half at least above that.
See, there was a question I wanted to ask you, and I think it ties into a few of the things that we were saying, and it's one of my favorite questions that I genuinely love to ask the guests on the show. And it's, how can you, Wendy, define yourself as a person, but also who do you see when you look in the mirror? But on the flip side of that question, has there ever been a time where you have looked in the mirror and not recognized the person staring back at you? How did you manage to go from being a person that you may have felt didn't have the purpose that you necessarily wanted to becoming the person who you feel has purpose today?
Wait, say that last part again. I didn't get that.
So I can say the last part. So how do you feel from being a person that you might not have liked or seen having purpose to being the person that you feel had purpose today? Okay.
So one of the things you said is, have you ever looked in the mirror and not recognized yourself? And I'm going to say right now, I just got a haircut like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And for, I don't know, 15 years, I've basically worn my hair up and back. And
you have, yeah.
Like I've had basically kind of a GQ 1930s haircut for about 15 years or a version thereof. And so right now when I look in the mirror, I'm like, who is that? Every glance, I'm like, oh my gosh, I look both like my 9-year-old self and simultaneously more like my mom. And I don't recognize me. I don't hate it. I'm not entirely sure if I love it yet or if I'm like at the so I knew I wanted to change and I wanted it softer and I just wanted to try something different. I want to try something new right now. I'm going through, like, I'm emerging into something else, right?
Right.
And I don't know that this is the final version of that. This is the first version of it, right?
Yep.
I think I'm going towards a 1968 like Mick Jagger shag, but we'll see. And like I said, I'm not mad at it. I like the change. I just don't recognize myself. So I'm like,
That's
who
that's
is
for
this?
now.
And
Yeah,
I don't.
that's just for now. I think one day you'll wake and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's me.
Well, I'm telling you, I have to find the photo. All my organization of my photos got wiped out, so I have to go digging for it.
Oh,
Yes, it was like years of organization. But I'm not kidding that I had this haircut when I was 9. Like this is really close to like my 8, 9 year old haircut. Very Peter Pan pixie kind of thing. Um, so this is the I don't recognize myself. The looking in the mirror and not loving myself was most of my life until my adulthood. I just didn't like me. But that was trauma. That was shame. That was not a good family. Not not a great uh, relationship or foundation from my mom. So I was probably in my 30s when I went, oh, I like you. Like, and I would look in the mirror and I was not comfortable looking in the mirror for most of my life. And there's a certain amount I'm still not to a certain extent, or if I see a photo of myself, I'm like, that's me. I don't necessarily love all the things I see. Um, but I think that's just human, like
yeah.
if I'd like to be leaner. Um, some of that is just the voice in my head. And the reason I know that is because if I really wanted to do that, I would do that. But I put my energy towards my business, my work, empowering other people, my children, my family. So I'm like, if you valued it higher, you would prioritize it.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. I get you.
So I know that my inner voice is like, Wendy, that's not the important quality of you as a human being. Am I healthy? Yes. I'm very healthy. I'm not on any medication. I'm healthy except hormones. I started taking hormones and oh my God, I'm a new person. Thank you. I was in pain and suffering for about 5 years. And now I am like, it's amazing. Yeah. Perimenopause.
Wow. Okay, I've heard this.
It's going to be different for y'all because we are all like talking about it now. We're all like, we're rallying around each other and going, okay, what
Yeah.
do we need to do here? Because why are we suffering? Like, I'm not exaggerating when I tell the roller coaster I had for the last 5 years. God bless my wife who like, experienced it all with me. And I was like, babe, you're pregnant and I'm going through perimenopause. This is going to be rough. Okay. But not joking that the day before, like when I started taking estrogen, progesterone, those are just like
Yes.
baseline. Okay. The day
Yes.
before, I felt like I was 90 and everything felt brittle. Like it hurt to step out of bed. My ankles hurt really badly. My feet hurt. Like just everything felt brittle. And I'd have random pain that would come and go, but just whole body pain at this point. And he said, we're going to put you on a low dose and tell me how it is.
Yeah.
I also haven't been sleeping well. Now, part of that is having toddlers who wake me up, but part of it is I'm not sleeping well. I wake up in the middle of the night, be up for 2 hours. The very first night, I had the deepest sleep I think I've had in years. Like it was just blackout, deep, deep rest. And I woke up and 90% of that brittle pain was gone
Oh.
on the first night. And then the next few nights after, continued to have deep sleep, and that pain I was like, I feel like myself again. Like my body is, and now I started going back to the gym because I can. Like I feel like I was actually kind of scared to do it before because I'm like, everything hurts. How am I going to work out when everything's hurting? And I feel like a new person. So learning, taking care of myself and finding the right practitioner, right? Like finding the right coach. I found the doctor that 4 years ago, I went to a doctor and said, this is happening all the time and this isn't me. Like what, I'm in perimenopause, this is terrible. I'd like to ask about hormones. And she said, oh no, hormones are very dangerous. And
Yeah.
there goes
I've
the end
heard
of the
that before.
discussion. And I'm like, now if you read up on it, they're not. They're
Yeah.
beneficial. There are, anyway, we're kind of off topic a little, but not
I
entirely.
don't mind it, to be fair.
But not entirely, because again, it's listening to yourself, trusting in yourself, finding the people that advocate for you.
Yes.
I'm just talking about medical now instead of artistry, but it's finding the people that have great knowledge that can serve you. Not finding the person that has just the answer you want to hear, right? But it's, how do I accomplish this thing I want to accomplish in the world? So liking myself. So right now, being in perimenopause, I know this is temporary. I'm also doing things to work through it. I want
Yes.
to lose some of this perimenopause belly. That's okay. I'm adapting with what it is now, and I'm doing
Exactly that.
the thing. Just like being an artist, I want my voice to be stronger. I'm going to I'm going to do the training. I'm going to do the thing, right? So most of my life, I didn't like looking in the mirror because I had a lot of shame from my trauma. I grew up being both like elevated by my mom, and just cut off at the knees all the time. So I grew up feeling like I need to there's something always wrong and I need to fix it. Like I'm wrong and I need to fix something. And then I had a very horrible romantic relationship that I left. And that was the beginning of me starting to really take care of myself in terms of I need to make some changes, right? So this ring, it's an Ethiopian wedding band or good luck ring. I've been wearing this since I'm 31. I wore it on this hand. Now I'm married, so I don't have a wedding band still. I need to get one, but I switched hands. No. It's always been on this hand. I tried wearing it as a wedding band. I was like, well, what if I wear this? And I'm like, it's just been here since.
Yeah. So now it feels.
It's been here 24 years. Like, I don't think I can. I need something else for this hand. So, but this was me and saying, I'm going to marry myself. Like I am going to be my best friend and start taking care of me. I'm really good at helping others. I actually like, I can figure out what someone else needs before they need it. I need to do it for me.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
Yep.
And I just didn't learn that. Like in my family, I was told to put everybody else first, particularly a parent first. So that was the beginning of me saying, okay, Wendy, what do you want to do today? Or what do you want for dinner? And as I began to start to know myself, mostly the answers were, I don't know. And it was like, okay, well, when you know, that's what we'll do. You want Japanese food tonight? Great, let's do it. We'll do that. Oh, you need a nap? Let's get a nap. You want a bath? I discovered I love baths. I discovered that if I drink tea all day, I'm a happy person. I discovered that I love to try honey from just everywhere. And I love particular kinds of honey. Like these were all the things I just started learning about myself, right? I love tropical fruit. Oh my God, I love tropical fruit. And so I think that these are important steps. And this is absolutely what artistry is about. How to find yourself out, find out who you are at a deep level, find these specific things, find your archetype, right?
Yes.
Who are you at an archetypal level? Because that's what you want to put out in the world. If you are where's Mark Basie? If you are folk hero funk, if you are a hero, then your visuals need to show you as a hero. You're not going to do something that's, I'm the victim. Nope, you're the hero. So your stories are going to show that. And we want to layer all these parts of yourself. And that's how I went from doing one-on-one vocal coaching to building Compass, a 6-month artist development program to help people know themselves. Let me help you know who you already are. I'm not telling you to be something. Let me just help you put a name and clarify who you already are and show you how you can build an artistic world being that person, right? And when you can, as I am very grateful to now, like love myself, recognize myself as a person, have behavior that, and be able to make choices that create a fulfilling life because of the healing, because of the art, because of the expression. Being a parent, oh my gosh, that was a challenge huge challenge. And a lot of old stuff came up, right? And being able to clear through that and say, I'm really an excellent coach. How do I bring those qualities to parenting? How can I coach my kids to be their wonderful selves? How can I support them at the same time parent? Right? I mean, I think that is parenting, but at the same time,
It
help
is, to be fair.
discipline.
It is, to be fair. I know a lot of the time when we go through bad childhoods because of our parents, when we have kids, we have this, I don't know if you had it, we have this slight fear that we may become our parents sometimes. It's slightly there sometimes, and it's just a moment of thought.
I didn't have the fear. I mean, I was terrified. But that was me reliving my childhood.
There
Not
you go.
terrified to be a
Yes.
parent. I was terrified reliving the first year of my life. What I found though was I was being like my parent in that first year, and I didn't like it. I was like, this, I don't want to be like this. How do I? And so doing the work with Wayne was separating how I was parented from how I want to parent, like getting that learned thing out of my body. Like that's not me. That part's not me. So that, and then literally I was just like, oh, now I'm just with my kids the way I want to be with my kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was repeating patterns. Like they just showed up being there, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't want this. Like, can we eject button this stuff?
I wish it was that simple. I honestly wish it was that simple.
Some of the work with Wayne is like that. You're just after doing like a really strong session, an hour session, and it is like you are just really changed after, because he does a lot of the heavy lifting. He's doing deep emotional, somatic, past life, like just really soul work. And of course, I've also worked with him, on and off for a dozen years. So some of it's like peeling away the onion, and we're back at that topic, but it goes deeper. It's different. Like some of it isn't, a singular change.
I think some of us, like I went through hypnotherapy. I was hypnotized 4 times, and each session was about an hour and a half. And Wendy, when I finished each session, even the first one, I felt so light. I was like, I didn't even know that was possible.
Yes. Every day with my wife and kids, I am truly like, my people who've known me for decades, like, I've never seen you this happy. I'm like, I was like, this is what love and security and home does. Like, I didn't know my life could feel like this, because it never has. Like, I haven't been in this situation, right? I'm like, every day, my wife and I, like, on a regular, I mean, we've been together 5 years, which isn't long, but every day is like, oh, that's a first. Oh, I've never had a conversation like this before. I've never had a conversation where I feel like this in the conversation. Like when we have conflict, I'm like, I'm not scared in this conflict. I'm not afraid she's going to leave. I'm like, we work this out together. We are kind to each other through this process. Like, these are all firsts. And I'm like, this is remarkable.
See, and this is what I mean. This is the beautiful thing about being in a relationship where you can feel abundantly free to be who you are without having the questions in your mind of the past and past relationships where you're like, maybe I shouldn't say that. If I say that, this will happen. If I say that, maybe I'll get contradicted. Or no, I've learned that after a painful 7 years in very bad relationships, or a bad relationship, to being in a marriage that feels easy. It feels like a friendship. And I think once you're in that kind of relationship where being married feels like a friendship, you know that you can totally be free and say your opinions and be passionate about your opinions, which is another thing. Yes. And be heard. And still, even if you both don't agree with each other, you still love each other to go off that. I agree or disagree, but it's in a way where it's safe. It's a safe zone.
It's incredible. And everyone should feel this way. I also think that, again, all your relationships should be this way. I mean, in that, again, you have a manager, you have someone on your team, you have your coach, like, feeling free to be real with this person and that they are working in your best interest with you. Like, let's curate that everywhere.
See, and this is why I love having these conversations. So one of the questions that I want to ask you, because I know we've almost had an hour with each other already, so one of the questions I do want to ask you from this whole conversation that we have had, what if there was one beautiful thing that you would like somebody who is listening to take away for themselves, what would it be, Wendy, from you?
Listen to that inner voice, the imagination that you have, how you see yourself, your art in the world, and bring it to life. It won't happen in one go. Like, it takes effort to go from the imagination to the physical. Like, it's going to take resistance. You're going to have to break through some things, right? And the way you imagine it, you might try it the first time and be like, oh my gosh, amazing, but it's not quite right. That's normal. Like, it takes a few drafts to get to, oh, here's my imagination, the way I see it. Yep. And then it takes, like, you got to do it on a shoestring budget first, and then you get to do it at a bigger budget later, right? And even then, you still are going to have conflict and challenges to make it happen, right? No matter what your budget is, there's always hurdles, there's always challenges. But it really is that. Like, however you imagine yourself being in the world as an artist, please go explore and create that. Because that's who you are. No one else has that imagination, and that's the vision you have. So please bring it to life. We need it. We need your voice, your truth, your point of view. 7 billion love songs already written, and today another 180,000 were uploaded. Like, we're always going to love songs, and people are always going to want to hear them. It's the way you talk about love that we need to hear.
I love that. You know what, Wendy? I think that's a beautiful way to actually finish the podcast. So it really is. So from me to you, I want to say thank you so much for taking your time to come on the Ask People podcast, be your authentic self, and just share your story in your way. Thank you so much, Wendy.
I appreciate this. Is an incredible conversation. It went in directions I absolutely didn't expect, and it's so cool.
This is cool. So guys, I want to thank you so much for listening to the Ask People podcast, and please remember you can subscribe or leave us a review on any platform that you choose. Also, you can check us out on the Savia Rocks website, which is just www.savia.rocks, which is nice and easy. Or you can go to the Us People podcast website, which is www.uspeoplepodcast. Remember, you can click on the community page where every Tuesday we put out a new podcast for you to be able to listen to, and we also write a story about the podcast itself for you to actually read and feel connected with, which is another beautiful thing to be able to share and listen to. So from me, guys, thank you so much for listening. Stay happy, stay positive, and as always, please continue to be kind to one another. Take care.
Society has made me want to validate me from my illusion that awaits me, from how the people will perceive me. It's my illusion that awaits me. We fight in our war with ourselves. Our mental health is silencing us from our heart. Social media is taking our time from connecting with each other. Why we dance on TikTok, strike a post on Instagram, fight the web on a Twitter feed, link a thing on Snapchat. Why we dance on TikTok, strike a post on Instagram, fight the web on a
You're good, Wendy.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, humanity needs more humanity, that's for sure.
I tried to spread that.
I can hear that in your voice. It's beautiful. What a pleasure. Thank you. It was a really, really beautiful and interesting conversation, like unexpected. Like I said, we went in places I didn't know we were going to go, and I love that.
Our mental health is silencing us from our heart. Social media is taking our time from connecting with each other soul to soul. Why we dance on TikTok, strike a post on Instagram, fight the web on a Twitter feed, link a thing on Snapchat. Why we dance Why we dance on TikTok? Why we dance on TikTok? Why we dance on TikTok? It's taking our time. Why we dance on TikTok? Each other soul to soul. Why we dance on TikTok? Strike a pose on Instagram.